There's a way in cinematography, and I cannot believe I'm actually using that word for once in a fucking card game children's show for once, but it's very awkward, let's just say the least, that when you're seeing the main character gunning down the villain, and it just stays there for a little bit too long, where you're seeing bullets flying with a minigun, and this would be fine if it was like an R-rated or an 18, you know, if it was Scarface or something, but it's like, the main character's gunning down the villain, and it's awkwardly long. Can we stop this? This is getting a little... I'm feeling a little bit bad. I'm watching a kid's show. Can I not just enjoy dumb card games, please? No, we can't, because, is an ass. Got to say, I was actually kind of looking forward to this episode, mainly because I was like, oh, we finally get to see Leo, like, Akuma Leo's, like, duel, like, finally. It's like, oh, like, I don't know, there was a little giddy part of me going, ee! Like, I'm actually wanting to see what this is, like, this little fight. I was like, what exactly is going to be his deck? And a lot of it, and I mean a lot of the time spending it, they really tried to like suspensefully build up like, you know, his deck and all that, but a lot of it was really spent on talking, saying, no, fuck you, we won't revive Zarg, Yuya's my friend, I swear, like, we'll do it right. And throughout the entirety of it, we only get to see really Yuya, and like alongside with like, we saw Reiji's turn, where like, Yuya just brought out Odd Eyes as he like normally does, like just straight up like plan on there, that's, you know, what I had in mind. I'm gonna bring my Time Magician and my Time Gazer, you know, gonna bring everything out there, all fine. Like, you know, Reiji, he brings out all of his aces and all that, like straight from the beginning, his like triple summoning method that he's known for. It's like, fuck you, there you go, immediately there and all that, like gonna have them all there, gonna make my DD birth them out, like all of it's gonna go there. You got Caesar, you got all of them up on there on the field, like you got the Fusion, XYZ, and definitely one of the cards that I was actually surprised by, I was like, oh, that's actually really strong, which is this contract card where it's like, if you have this card there, like on the field, no other player can use any of the other summoning methods as long as like one person has this. So basically he had all three of the summoning methods from here, and it's like, okay, fuck you, I've got this card, I've got like pendulums, I've got this and all that. Apparently though, pendulum cards don't count though on this field, since they're technically magic cards as well on the field. So it's like, no, I had these fields on there, you can't use synchro, you can't use fusion, and you can't use XYZ. Fuck you, what are you gonna do about that? And then this was when I was thinking, oh my god, is this the time? Like some stupid part of my brain went off. It's like, rituals are now coming. That was a thing. Like, I remember that in like GX, that was part of the fusion dimension, and I was like, no, let's just bring out a pendulum card instead. I was like, wow, I was so like, kind of not like, not underwhelmed was the word, but I was like, I was really disappointed by that. I was like, oh, he brought out a pendulum card. Oh, okay. I mean, it's still something. He can use pendulums alongside with it, like the other people, and it's like, and that's a thing that like only a few select few people can even do, like at the start of the series. But I was like, oh, I kind of wanted him to actually use like a unique kind of deck from what it was, and it was like, no, instead and all that, he was just gonna like use these two like little pendulum spear like kind of things. They were like, they just come out and they're both like on the scale of like 1. I think they were like called spirit reactors, both on a scale of 1, and they had the special ability of like they can copy any other pendulum on the field. So they use Yuya's like scale 8 like magician. It does that, and he's able to do 2 to 7, and he brings out, I believe, like he brought out the salamander core, which was like a level 2 that had like just like 2, like that was all its ability was. It was just like, yeah, it was a 0 thing, and it had the Tech Force Pendulum Governor, which was a level 7 monster with 28,000 attack points, which that was a little nuts considering how they actually work, where it's like, you can't attack, you can't beat me and all that. And by the way, anything through like the scale of like this monster's attack points, which was like 2 to like 7, can attack me. Like, so yeah, there goes most of your dragons and all that, and the monster has to attack with the scales. So I was thinking, the way to get through this, which I was honestly expecting from Yuya, is like, well, bring out Odd Eyes like Dragon. Like, that's your option right there. Like, if anything, I guess, like, the fact is, I think, like, Reiji's card blocks it out as well, and he immediately attacked, like, with using effect of the Salamander Core, he combined, like, it, whereas, like, I can use an effect twice, which was, I can destroy 2 monsters, and they deal 800, and it was like, Reiji, I'm gonna first, like, you know, get rid of Odd Eyes, even though it's gonna come back, but I'm gonna deal damage to you, and I'm gonna destroy Reiji's fusion one is like, well, now fusion cards are no longer sealed. So I was thinking, okay, maybe we might actually see like a fusion card from like from Leo, but we didn't actually see that. It seems like his entire deck is an entire shutdown deck, because this is happening whilst all the girls are being locked up, and it's like, no, we're now gonna like we're gonna bring back his daughter, we're gonna bring back Ray, and we're gonna stop Zark from coming back. So honestly, that's so weird that the fact that the main villain throughout the entirety of the series, like, where you think about the villains from GX, you think from 5Ds, like from from like Xiao, you think from all of them. What does the main villain's deck normally has? And it's normally a powerhouse deck where it's like, its main thing is offense, and normally even though he's not really the final villain, but he's like the main antagonist to the majority of the story that we had. Like, it sounds like honestly that the main last antagonist is going to be like Zark or something, where it's going to be like the embodiment of Zark in some way. And the fact is that his entire deck is to, no, I'm not gonna fight you really. I'm gonna just do this as a massive stall battle. And the fact that like the way how Yuya is getting around it is by transforming into Zark for a little bit and bringing out this Performer Pal Goblin thing, which he used like a fusion with a Goblin, which I was like, oh, he's going to fuse that. Oh, is he going to bring out someone like Beast Eyes or like a kind of like a different dragon? Because I was like, that's interesting, because I'm pretty sure that Golem thing isn't a beast, and I doubt it's a spellcaster, so you can bring out like Beast Eyes or Rune Eyes, and I was like, what's he going to bring out with that? And it was a Performer Power monster, which that was weird to see that, like, nonetheless. Like, no, we actually get to see a fusion Performer Power, and its ability is every card on the field that's on there, like, and it was like, oh, there's 12 cards, and he's like, I deal 200 points of damage to every single one of them, and it's the longest, most awkward Gatling gun sequence where it's for a very long time that he's getting fucking blown up and, like, shot down, and I'm like, this is getting a bit awkward now. Like, the kids game, can we just not have that where it's just the Gatling gun is continuously going on. It's just like as soon as it's like going off, and it's like, Yuya, stop letting Zark take over. You just said you need to control your anger, and that's what you need to do, but you're not helping right now. Like, seriously, you need to stop it. And it's like, generally the fact that it's like, oh, its second ability, if it had a like pendulum monster inside of it that activated, then you could destroy a monster and deal that monster's attack points to it. So it was like, oh, well, Leo's gonna lose a duel if he doesn't do something. And the fact like how like Yuya's father is acting, where it's like, oh, all those memories that I had with my son, like, like, because he's an embodiment of, like, Zark and, like, the dimensions and everything, and it's like, no, was it just pretty much fiction? I was like, really? This is what it's going to do? So it honestly sounds like Leo is, like, he's holding this card, like, in his pocket, where it's like, that's probably maybe going to save Leo, where he's like, no, this is not the way how to beat him, Yuya. You're like, even though, like, I'm doing this and all that, you still need to beat it. And it's like, no, this is not, we're on a time limit right now on the fact that the girls are going to, like, fuse into one in the whole new universe. Can you, like, maybe not do this, please, and all that, like, right now, like, we need this sorted out ASAP, 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 like, just do it, like that. And the fact that it's, like, it's a weird episode on the way that, like, like, this is the first time we've seen Reiji and Yuya, like, duel together. And the fact that he's like, no, he's my friend, even as he's seeing his friend turning into a monster right now, and he's like, no, he's still my friend and all that. But other than that, I did like the episode in some aspects, but I will definitely say there was a lot of problems on there, especially on the fucking character models throughout the entirety of this episode. My god, what the fuck were with some of those, like, some of the faces and, like, some of, like, just the proportions and all that, the characters looked fucking terrible at some parts. Like, there was a bit where, like, Reiji's eyes were like that fucking size. There was, like, a bit where, like, just, like, characters, like, bodies just looked fucking, like, really weird and just fucking horribly off-modeled. Like, it was, like, that was the thing, is, like, I know it's, like a studio that didn't have that much of the budget for it every week, but I was like, that was where I was like, okay, some of it looked really bad, some of it looked really off-model at some portions, but it was like, that was like, okay. But then it's like, it was fine when it was doing some stuff like that, when, like, we've seen the Zark scenes and everything, but it was like, there were just parts of it where it just looked really rough, and I was like, wow, that's actually kind of shocking, it really, and it's just like, I was kind of surprised about that. But other than that, I think, like, definitely the two low thoughts of the episode, even though, like, the off-model thing, which, that is obviously going to be fixed, like, throughout, like, after, like, Blu-rays come out and, like, DVDs of this show comes out, so they're definitely going to fix some of that stuff up and, and tweak it up a little bit. it's going to add into that, and I think as well, definitely the pacing of this episode was very stilted at some points, so I definitely, I'd have to give that kind of little tiny little thumbs down for that, I'll say the least, because I really was expecting, like, a little bit more of the duel apart from, no, I've got, this is my deck, I'm a sword guy, and fuck you, like, I'm just gonna, like, burn down your life points, and this is all I'm gonna do, but it was cool to see the new, like, performer file, like, Entomate, like, goblin thing, that was actually kind of cool, like, I think his name was, like, Gatling or something, and he was actually kind of a pretty strong monster, and he has a really good effect, so I did like that a lot, and I definitely enjoyed, like, the whole, like, it was building some aspects of, like, some mysteries between the whole thing about, Yuzu and Yuya's origins, and adding into some more of that, but I will say, yes, some of the characters looked really off-model, but I will say the bit they got right was when you saw, like, Zark, like, when Yuya was possessed by Zark, and his face was, like, all, like, evil and grinning, I definitely like that, so, like, definitely kudos on some parts of the episode, but definitely, yeah, the two things that's going to irk me in this episode is that, yeah, the episode felt kind of slow for the most part. Like, I was kind of expecting a little bit more of an epic battle, which it kind of doesn't feel like at the moment. And, like, it feels quite quick, but we're going for this. And I think adding into the fact as well, like, boy, I kind of, like, some of the animation did look quite off at some parts of the episode. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, though. Like, what did you think of the episode? What do you think of that really dark moment that Yuya and fucking Reiji is just staring at, like, Leo just getting shot the fuck down by this Gatling, and it's just like, it's a rough scene to watch. Like, it's a really rough one. But overall, on that, I think I give the episode like a 7.5. I think it was a good episode, but it stopped it from being a good to fine episode to, like, definitely the animation let it down, and I think definitely as well, like, it felt they're still in the duel, and it was just like, it took way too much time of them repeating kind of some of the same words that they had throughout the entirety. It's like, no, I swear I'll save the girls, and I'll say that, and it's like, it seems like it's like you just gonna calm down by hearing Ruri, and especially Yuzu as well, that's gonna calm him down. So, like, we'll look forward to next week's episode, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'll see you guys, though, next time.